getting broader here. Okay, lateral erosion is more. However, we'll also have a vertical down cutting, but that is phenomenally less. That is phenomenally less. Let's just for example, I am telling you here we'll have a 80% vertical down cutting. Here we'll have a 20% vertical down cutting and 80% lateral erosion will be there. Okay, means horizontal. Means in this way, lateral, vertical. So vertical will be here, lateral will be here, more. Okay, in terms of more, I hope in geography you have some sort of clear understanding that we used to see in the we used to focus on broad features, that what broad features are present, what broad features are available. Okay, so here we have this thing. Now old stage, when there is a gentlest slope, because of the gentlest slope, the water which is moving, now that water will be under the influence of more gravity. Okay, the water which is here, that water is under the more influence of gravity, because here the water which is there, this water will cause what, more or less deposition. The deposition is more, the water will cause lateral erosion which will be more. However, some sort of 5 to 10% vertical down cutting will be here. But what is the more feature? The lateral erosion will be more here, deposition will be more here, because the gravity influence is greater, because the kinetic energy of water is less, because the slope is gentle. As a result of that, the kinetic energy will be less in water itself. So when we have this particular aspect, when the deposition is more, lateral erosion is more, as a result of this, what will happen? Gentle sloping valleys with the floodplains will be formed. Flat and wide floodplains will be formed. Wide and very deep channel will be formed. Oxbow Lake will be formed. Floodplains will be formed, and levees, natural levees, will be formed as a result of this fluvial action of water. Okay, as a result of that, we will see these features in a more deep dive manner. See, what you have to do, you have to remember the term and you have to link that what could be the feature of that specific slope in which it is actually oriented. Let's see the upper course of river. Let's see the upper course of river, and which is actually being termed as the youthful stage. When there is a youthful stage of river, we will have what? Dominant process. With dominant process, more vertical down cutting. More vertical down cutting will be there. So here you will see we have a steep V-shaped valleys will be formed. Steep V-shaped valleys will be formed. Now here we have some sort of the landforms, the topographical features which you will see in the upper course of river. I hope you remember when we have a steep slope, due to this steep slope, more gravity influence, because of the more gravity influence, more down cutting will be there. More down cutting will be there. So whenever we have this more vertical down cutting, and if there is a steep slope, if there is what? Steep slope. If there is a steep slope, when we have these steep slopes, because of what? More vertical down cutting, that will be termed as what? Gorge. That will be termed as what? Gorge. So gorge means deep, narrow valleys with very steep slopes, very steep sides, and there is a rapid vertical erosion by river. So when river will cause rapid vertical erosion, vertical down cutting will be there in the youthful stage. As a result of that, gorge will be formed, steeper slopes will be formed, and these gorge, if they are further subjected to the intense vertical down cutting, they will going to become more and more deeper. See, let's say here how it might have been evolved, how this image might, I mean the image which you are looking here, how this might have been evolved. Suppose this is what the level at which the water used to run. Suppose here we have a land. Okay, we have only this part, and here the water is flowing, and water is flowing, narrow channel is there, youthful stage is there. Because of that, more kinetic energy is there. So more removal of material will be there. And because of this, there will be a down cutting. So now this could be a land. Let's say this is the 2025. So after 10 years, let's say 2035, this will be the part. Then further it will what down cut, let's say 2045. Further it will down cut, let's say 2065. Further it will be down cut, let's say 2075. I'm just taking for an example, okay? However, there is no intrinsic relationship when it comes to the time period. That's why it is geography, not a science. If we know with respect to the time period, then yes, it might be science. So this vertical down cutting which is taking place, yes, it will further lead to the down cutting. This level at which you are flowing the water, now this will further down cut. Okay, and it is getting more and more deep and deep and deeper. All right, so when we have this kind of appearance of slopes, that will be called as gorge. Then we have a V-shaped valleys. If the water is moving like this, let's say, so here you will see gorge, here you will see what gorge. And when the water is moving towards the downslope areas, here there is some sort of what we can say the lateral erosion which has started. So this lateral erosion will have this what widening of slope, and this vertical down cutting will lead to V-shaped valleys. Will lead to formation of V-shaped valleys. So that's how V-shaped valleys will be formed. And this V-shaped valley is a steep side narrow valley which is resembling the letter V of our alphabet, or let's say our F for apple, B for ball, C for cat. Vertical erosion of river in its upper course is taking place. So when we have this kind of erosion, that will be termed as what? V-shaped valleys. So this will be formed at the downslope of the vertical, or let's say downslope at the youthful stage of river. Okay, I hope now you can relate it. So when you think conceptually, there is no need to remember the things. However, when it comes to the nomenclature, that what is God, what is V-shape, that you have to remember. But if you have a clarity that what processes would be there, then if you can relate it with the slope, kinetic energy, vertical down cutting, then it is very easy to remember features. All right. So we have some sort of lateral down cutting, lateral horizontal cutting or removal, and we have some sort of more vertical down cutting. If two of them are taking place, as a result of that, there will be a V-shaped valley which will be formed. Similarly, you will see rapids. You will see rapids. Rapids are like this. In this image, just see. In this image, you will see we have a rapids. Here you will see we have a rapids. Okay. You might have seen these kind of topographical feature in the river itself. And these topographical feature are the result of fluvial action of water. So what we can say that when there are simultaneous section where the water is flowing, and these simultaneous sections are comprised of irregular hard and soft rocks. So when we have a hard and soft rocks in the riverbed, that will resulted into what? Rapids. So here you can see we may have some sort of let's say the more resistant rock. This is less resistant rock. This is more resistant rock. So it is, suppose this slope might have been in this way. So it got eroded and it got less eroded. It is more eroded, less eroded, more eroded, less eroded. So that's how this step kind of topography is actually appearing. Okay, so when we have this irregular hard and soft rocks layers in river course means the channel in which the water is flowing. So when we have a hard and soft rocks in the river channel itself, that will be termed as what? Rapids. So difference in rocks offer different set of resistance, different set of friction caused by fluvial action of water, that resulted into different scale of removal of material, that resulted into different steps with respect to river course. So there will be an irregular bad slope. The river bed which is here, that is highly irregular. somewhere it is up, somewhere it is down.